All right, I'll let everybody get through the ads and everything. Let me go ahead and retweet it again, just saying that I am live here. I'll make sure I was looking at things on Discord. All right, so here we are. When I look at this race and I look at how I want to approach it, chasing how many certain drivers I want to chase, okay, I find it very, very hard to believe that Logano does not hit the optimal lineup today. I find it very, very hard to believe that. Not only due to the fact that Logano has fantastic speed, okay, bring it one time. Not only because Logano has fantastic speed, okay? The fact that, yes, he got the pole, okay? I understand that Blaney is faster. But when we look back at how this race is normally ran and how – and it showed up each and every race weekend or each and every race this weekend is people roll over. They're not racing the championship for drivers, okay? I don't believe Blaney leads in this race a lot. I have Blaney for 53 points right now. And I have him, and Grant, as I normally do, I cap a lot of people. So, like, the highest guy that I have today is Logano at 83.8. If he's doing more than that, or if he's doing anywhere near that, he'll be optimal. But realistically, I gave Blaney 22 laps led, 27 fast laps, and like around a sixth-place finish. Yes, that is optimal, but when we look at how I believe that this race is going to play out, I don't see Blaney racing his teammate hard, okay, at the start of this race. I don't see Logano losing the lead, or if he does lose the lead, he has two things that's going to help him out really, really good. Okay, yes, Larson. Like when we look at Larson and his long run speed, when we look at William Byron and his long run speed, they have it. When we look at Elliott and his long run speed, they have it. But the one thing that they don't have is the best pit stall on Phoenix. Okay, or in Phoenix. And I think that is going to play huge importance today. Okay, the fact that Logano has the number one pit stall, the fact that this race was won last year on the number one pit stall, the fact that this race was won last night with the number one pit stall, I find it very hard to believe that Logano doesn't regain the lead if he loses it under green. Logano can come into the pits third or fourth at any given time and still leave pit road with the lead. I find it just super hard to find situations where Logano does not work his way into the optimal lineup today. Okay. So Logano is my priority. Okay. And I'm going to do 100% Logano. I've debated just doing some single entries today and just being really aggressive with the lineup. I don't think I'm going to do that. I would kind of have a bad taste in my mouth if I miss on like another guy and that's it. And another thing is a lot of these contests are filling up. Like the $15 is almost filled up. A lot of these other contests, like the $12 single entry, 2K to first, almost filled up. The $3 3 max is almost filled up. The $4 single entry is almost filled up. The 24 single entry is filled up. So I'm just like, I don't want to deal with that. So we'll just run all the lines in the 15, and I want to be 100% on Logano. I find it really hard to believe that he is not optimal today. I don't care about the championship. I don't care who wins the championship. But looking at what Logano is bringing to the table, looking at where he's starting, looking at the fact that he has Blaney going to be starting on his outside, I don't see Blaney, really continuing with him on the initial restart. I like Logano, and so from here on out, I'm speaking with a 5-driver lineup, or we're trying to figure out the remaining 5 drivers that I want to use on DraftKings Day because I will have 100% Logano. When we look at the 2 other guys that I want to focus on, that is Chase Elliott and that is Ross Chastain. Okay, Chase Elliott has fantastic practice speed. We've seen how well he runs at this race. Like when we look, like seriously, okay. And this is not, let's not box score, okay? Elliott's finished 11th, 5th, 1st, 7th, 39th, 14th, 23rd, 3rd, and 2nd, okay? That's not going deep enough for me. Let's really look at what Elliott is doing, because statistically, in terms of his fast lap and lap led percentage, this is Chase Elliott's best track by far. Okay. Spring race, 16 fast lap points, 13 lap led points. Fall last year, 24.75 fast laps, 23.5 laps led. Spring last year, Elliott, 4.5 fast laps. And this is a situation where he started sixth, he finished fifth, didn't even have a good day, and got us over 4 fast lap points. In the fall race in 2020, Chase Elliott, 26.5 fast laps, 38.25 laps led. Spring race in 20. And the reason why I'm looking at this is because Phoenix, like certain races, lean to certain drivers. Okay. We constantly see certain teams and certain drivers perform here. And this is not just an anomaly. Like we could be like, okay, well, Logano, I mean, Elliott's been good here and there, but like he doesn't do it every time, right? Look, we're in the spring of 2020. Elliott, 30 laps led points, 23.25 fast lap. 2019 fall race. One of these is when Elliott blows a tire when he was about to win the race as well. I got to find this here. If I can find him on this one. Yeah, Chase Elliott. This is when he ends up blowing a tire and finishes 39th early in the race, and he still had 2 fast lap points. 2019 in the spring, Elliott has 6 fast lap points, DraftKings wise. 2018 in the fall race, Elliott has 17 fast lap points and 4 lap led points. I mean, we are in 2018, and Elliott has gotten fast laps in every one of these races. Okay, spring race 2018, 16 fast lap points. 2017 fall race, Chase Elliott, 8 fast lap points, 8.5 lap led points. The spring race in 2017, 26.5 fast laps, 26.5 laps led. Like, this is not he's just, he's good. Like, yes, it's clear that Elliott is good here, but looking at this, bare projections is you have to give him fast lap points, okay? And if he's getting those fast lap points because he's competing for the championship, Elliott is in good contention to get laps led as well, okay? When we look at how the pit road is going to play out, Elliott has a fantastic pit stall as well. I think it'll be primarily Logano and Elliott fighting on a pit road today. I absolutely love Chase Elliott today. I am not going to play Christopher Bell. That's just where I'm at. I'm not playing Christopher Bell. I don't see it. I'm seeing the reasons why I like Logano. I'm seeing the reasons why I like Chase Elliott. I see absolutely nothing for Christopher Bell. I'm not playing Christopher Bell today. That's just where I'm at. Now, let's move on to Ross Chastain. I think Chastain will have a really good car today. I think there is realistic let me go ahead and pull this up, or at least on my end. I think there's a real chance that Chastain will compete to be optimal today when we're looking at these how these races are playing out. And I'll probably do like 5 lines. Like I said, I don't want to just completely get insane chasing this race, but there's a real chance that 2 of my 5 lines will be Chastain, Logano, and Elliott, and just getting different on the other 2 because I just love Logano. As I've said that, I like Elliott, I like Chastain. Me debating on if Chastain and Elliott are both optimal or if it's just one or the other, that's what I'll be trying to fight with. But I absolutely love Logano, Elliott, and Chastain today. And I would primarily focus on Logano and Elliott between those 2 guys. That is where I'm at. That's how I'm building my lines. That's how I want to chase this race. I don't see any other reason to really look at that. Okay, if Larson leads, what else? Where are we at? If I gotta come back. If Larson leads, so be it. If like Harvick leads, if Byron leads, if Reddick gets the lead on pit lane, so be it. I've completely missed, but I like Chastain, Elliott, and Logano. Those are the 3 guys that I'm going to absolutely build around and focus on today. So when we continue to look at this and we continue to go through and look at lines, sorry, my neighbors are being extremely loud. I don't know if you can hear that. That's why I'm like agitated right now. When we look at where I think ownership is going to fall, I think that we are going to see people wanting to chase Let me look through here. And people are going to want to chase and do the fact that a lot of people are going to end up in the 6K range and having that as like their average of guys left over. I think we're going to have people chase Busher. I think we're going to have people chase McDowell. I personally like Eric Almirola. I think Eric Almirola is a fantastic play today. If you think that people can maintain their track position, which I think it'll be a bit more difficult than Martinsville, then Cole Custer would start making sense there. But I think the main focus on is the 4K range. And so I will have a line that dives into there. I don't think you necessarily need it. And I would honestly choose Landon Castle over Garrett Smithley in this situation, because Castle, I can realistically, and I have realistically projected that car to finish around 28th each and every week. Okay, and when we look at how Castle was running, I know he's running slow times. But when we look at his finishing positions, he's probably going to guarantee us 6th place differential, and that's with nobody wrecking out. Like, that's just where he's probably going to run. Castle will probably end up running 31st to 29th all day. We get some guys taken out who are like actual like racers and stuff. There's a realistic chance that we see him repeat, a mid-20s finish like we saw at Texas, like we saw at Bristol, like we saw at Kansas, Darlington, like we saw at New Hampshire earlier in the year, like we saw at Kansas 1. There's a realistic chance that Landon Castle is optimal today. And so for me, I don't know if I would play him in cash because I hate it whenever people really grill me about these guys at the bottom, but I really do like Landon Castle today. And there's a realistic chance that you don't even have to go to the 6K range. Like you don't even have to go to the 4K range. I'm saying if you are absolutely stuck on salary and you can't afford to get up to like Ty Dillon, or you can't afford to get up to people like Eric Jones, people like Chris Busher as your other 2 guys in your line, I would prioritize Landon Castle over Cody Ware, over BJ McLeod, over Garrett Smithley. I would prioritize leaving 0 on the table, or leaving 0 salary left over, chasing the $4,900, than building a line that leaves 0 with $4,500. That's where I'm at, because you can very easily go Chastain, Logano, Elliott, and Castle, and then have a shitload of money left over. Like, you're not having to go to Garrett Smithley today. Garrett Smithley is if you absolutely love that line and you need that min salary player there. So that's really my broad approach. It's just 100% Logano. Probably 2 of my 5 lines going to have Chastain and Elliott in it. The other ones, I haven't decided between the last 3 what I'm going to prioritize: 3 or 2 Elliott lines and 1 Chastain line, or 2 Chastain lines and 1 Elliott line. But that's where I'm at there. As I said, I don't believe in Bell. I don't really want to focus on and risk getting off of when the primary lap leaders to chase Denny Hamlin, to chase Kyle Busch. I have Hamlin at 51.6. I have Kyle Busch at 45.6 today. Okay. It's 5.2 for Hamlin, 4.9 for Kyle Busch. I don't see a reason to chase these guys when we have Chastain. Yeah, sure. Wow. He's slightly more expensive, but I think Chastain should be a priority over those 3 guys. And the way that qualifying worked out, it makes it easy to just like pay up this week. I don't think you need to necessarily save the salary by playing the people in the 9K range. I don't see it. I know Hamlin's cheap at $9,900. I know Busch is cheap at $93. I know Martin Truex is cheap at $95, but look at what they arrived at the track with. Now, I know when we're looking at the practice times, and I'll start looking at comments in a second. Truex, who people would argue this is probably his best between the Joe Gibbs drivers. Truex is probably the best one here. Okay, the fact that he and we have seen the field catch up to Joe Gibbs. This is not like it was mid-season. We've seen the field catch up to Joe Gibbs. The fact that Truex is running lap times that where are we at? He's 17th best. Okay, in terms of all laps ran. When we look at his faster laps, Truex is ranked. He's ranked 26. Like that is rough, okay? When we look at the long run speed of Denny Hamlin and Kyle Busch, Hamlin is still like right on the door of like 12 fastest on the long run speed, okay? So, yeah, I can see how Denny can get to like 52, 51, 54 points today. But is that optimal? I don't believe it is, because I don't believe he leads laps in this race. Kyle Busch is a little bit cheaper. And yes, he is running a bit better in terms of lap speed. But still, Kyle Busch is leaving a lot on the table to be desired today. Let me see. The only thing with Kyle Busch is I'm super, super concerned of how bad this team will end up running today. And I think Kyle Busch is probably going to be a chalk play. There's a lot of reasons looking at Kyle Busch to be a chalk play. Fifth fastest amongst the field, amongst all the laps. Second fastest in the fastest laps ran. But I'm very concerned about this just being a short run car. I understand that we did. Kyle Busch ran laps in the ran a 15 lap run, but in all reality, that's a short run car here. We're gonna go green a lot in this race. Okay, so like I would just honestly much rather chase Chastain, who has no worries about passing the field here, who has absolutely no concerns about running through the field here. And the fact that Chastain has actually finished pretty decent here in bad equipment should just show that this is a track that's going to lean into Chastain's wheelhouse. That's where I'm at there. Let's go ahead and start rolling through. 49 of you guys here. Thank you for joining me. I know we got NFL stuff going on, but still, I appreciate you guys being here. Thoughts on Smithley, Cindric, and Gibbs? If you like I think Cindric's a fine play if you want to play him. I would prefer Eric Almirola for cheaper, one position farther up. When we look at Ty Gibbs, if I can find the feller. Ty Gibbs starting 10th. I gave Ty Gibbs 15th today. Actually 14th. I gave him 14th. That is 24 points. Give him 11th. 11th is third. So, I mean, the real question is, do you think Ty Gibbs can finish 11th today? If he finishes 11th, he'll probably work out. If he's 12th or back, he's not going to work out. That's the question that you need to ask with Ty Gibbs. And then Smithley, as I said, if you're going down there and you need minimum salary, I think Smithley is he's not going to kill you. I mean, I want to reiterate that. I might be talking up Castle a lot, but Smithley is not going to kill you. I would just prioritize Landon Castle. That is where I'm at there. I know, last stream, man. Buescher or Jones, I would prefer Eric Jones. I know he was slow in qualifying, but the fact that his car is probably going to run around 20th, at least in speed alone, without even strategy coming into play, default, right around 18th to 20th today. Give him a little bit more based on either pit road strategy or whatever the case you want to do. I think it's very easy to see Eric Jones score around 34, 36 points today. So I would prefer Jones over Buescher, but I think Buescher is also a really good play. And those are the two people that I would probably want to be over the field on. Like Buescher at 67 and Jones at 68. As I just said, if you're playing a Chastain, Logano, Elliott line, you're going to end up in the 6K range, and I wouldn't hate that line with both those guys in it. So I like that. I don't believe anybody outside the championship 4 leads in this race. So I'm just not playing Blaney. If we miss on that, that's how we go. I love Logano. Thank you, Sterling, and I saw that. I know you were saying this whenever I was like going live and stuff, but thank you for being here and stuff. Good morning, Dave. Happy to have you here. Would you rather go Chastain, Elliott, and Logano, or Chastain? Yeah, I mean, I'm just not playing Bell. I don't like Bell. That's just where I'm at. Wallace and Jones. I'm gonna lean Jones, but I'll refer to this stuff. I don't even know where Bubba is starting. Bubba's 23rd. Yeah, I'd go Jones, man. It's not even close. It's not even close. Thank you, Clutch. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you always commenting, always watching all my stuff, whether it's NASCAR or not. Just being here, I appreciate it. Thank you so much, man. I want to touch on Haley real fast. When we look at Colleague and we look at how their program has improved this year, I think they drastically improved their intermediate package. But I still believe that their short track package is the one that they struggle with the most. And that's why AJ is running this track or running this race. AJ wants to have more experience on these types of tracks, have more experience with the car, but because they need to test this car more for intermediate tracks. And we look at, and now there really is a big discrepancy between the intermediate package and the short track package for Colleague. I am very concerned that Haley finishes around 22nd to 21st day. Okay. When we are looking at how well he has been running lately, and he has, because it's been real tracks, like I gave Haley 20th today, and that's 30 points. I don't think Haley, and I don't think Colleague, so we're talking AJ as well. I mean, we're not playing AJ, but I think Colleague as a whole struggles at short tracks with this car. So I am personally not going to Haley. I don't know what the field is going to do. Maybe they go to him because he has worked out a lot recently and he's been underpriced recently and he's been blowing that price out of the water. But I personally, I am not going to be playing Haley today. So between these two guys, I would play Buescher. Anyway, when we're looking at building lineups, and let me see where everything's coming in at. Let's see. So when I look at my stuff here, let me go ahead and trim the fat on these projections or on this pool real fast because I want to see where this is wanting to go. I'll leave Custer in there. I'll leave Gibbs in there. Take Denny and Kyle out of that. I'm assuming that this is going to come into play, Castle. If I play, what I'm going to do here. Yeah, so reiterating on my stuff, it's telling me, at least based on my projections, tell me play Logano. That's really, I mean, there's a lot. I don't really have a link, at least on the projections right now, because I ran crunches last night, but I haven't ran it with the reduced player pool. So I'm gonna let that run for a few minutes in the background, and I'll come back to that. Thank you so much for watching, John. I appreciate it. If you guys would like to support Pearce, support myself, there is a PayPal in the last link in the description is my PayPal. If you want to support me, if you want to give me an early Christmas present, or if Christmas comes around, whatever the case is, if you would like to do a send off because that's how I pay bills, I would appreciate that. Fading him, it just seems like too much to overcome with all the attention. Should I be? I don't think it's a lot to overcome at all. When we look at practice at Phoenix, there are so many drastically different lines to run, and the fact that you qualify at Phoenix so differently than you race. I'm not saying we're using the not the apron, the dog leg like every lap because you're going to end up tearing your shit up. But the fact that you race so drastically different than you qualify, I'm not concerned about it. And Chastain said himself in multiple interviews that they like the car for the race. Okay, they over adjusted for qualifying and they were just too loose. But for the race, they are super, super happy with the car. And I'm not worried about Chastain at all. Okay, he finishes 10th at Martinsville because I'm not including the last lap. But all day, here, let me move this over. And the fact that he had to overcome, actually, I'm looking at Haley. He was ninth best at Martinsville. Where are we at? 11th best at Richmond. 11th best at New Hampshire. 11th best. Like the fact that we have that I would guarantee 15 place differential points from Ross Chastain as a minimum really leads him to contend to be optimal today. And that is like giving him 10th. That's with no fast laps, no laps led whatsoever. I'm only giving Chastain 17 laps led and 24 fast laps in this race. I think he can blow it out of the water. I really do. And I think there's a real chance that we have Logano in like the hundreds. We could have Elliott in the 90s to 80s, and we can have Chastain in the low 70s to high 60s, and he makes the optimal line and not even winning the championship, not even running away with the race, just being there, throwing a Hail Marys at the end of the race with a pit call. Like, I would not be shocked letting the race for Chastain to stay out or take 2 tires or something like that. But the fact that he's going to be flying through this field, I expect Chastain to probably be running 10th before the end of the first stage. I really do. Now driving under green from like 10th to 1st, I do think that is pretty far-fetched, but I think he will very easily have a 10th, 9th place car today. So that's where I'm at there. Yeah, I don't prioritize one or the other. I mainly look at how they run as a whole. But I look at Richmond, I look at Gateway, I look at New Hampshire. Those would be the 3 tracks that I would look at primarily, and mainly looking at green flag speed and how they were adjusting, whether if they missed the setup or whatnot. Like when we look at New Hampshire, that was Bell's best track this year, He was 3rd best all day. I think that leans a lot to Elliott. I don't know. Phoenix is such a unique track. That's why I really am annoyed that they decided the championship here, because there's so many things that take the race away from the teams, because this track is unlike any of them that we run at. Not because it's shaped a certain way, but the way that you race this track, like you basically run the apron in 1 and 2. Like they're not even on the racing surface. The racing surface is from the inside wall to the outside wall. So many different lanes. The pit road now, I think, has an even bigger impact on the number 1 pit stall than it used to. And I would like somebody to look at this, because like you have to run the right lane by the wall in the pits. But if you have a later pit stall here, you're basically cutting the corner. Like if it was a race line, you have a super, super late apex, but you're exiting the corner way faster than other people. Like pit road is such a huge, huge thing here. That's why I like Logano so much. The fact that, yeah, Logano had the 8th best car at Martinsville. He had the best car at Richmond earlier this year, 7th best at New Hampshire, 3rd best at Gateway, 3rd best at Martinsville earlier in the year, 13th best at the first Richmond race. Like the fact that he doesn't have the best car at all these racetracks, but he has the best pit stall is gonna make up for that stuff. Whereas Elliott has just been killer at these short tracks this year, and then you play head to head between Bell and Chastain, and the fact that Chastain has so many more place differential points just automatically beats Bell. I don't think Bell's going to get the lead today, and in a situation where we'll most likely see all championship 4 guys run inside the top 5, I would rather chase the fast laps and laps led potential of Chase Elliott and Logano than going to Christopher Bell. But that's where I'm at there. Yeah, just don't play Haley, and if it depends on line. Like if you're doing more than one line, go ahead and play him. But I think there's so much to be, kind of like yesterday, And I can't believe Raja got the fucking lap. I can't believe he got his fucking lap back when he was slow as shit. And then the direct people he was racing against got damaged and stuff. That was really, really that was like a $5,000 trade, man. Because I had LeBay over Raja yesterday. And that was separated by 4 points, and LeBay was so much lower owned. And the fact that Raja got saved so much in that race really, really, really did annoy me. But when we look at Haley, like if we're looking at Haley, I don't want to play Stenhouse. I'll say that. I probably won't play Custer, probably won't play Gibbs. I think the route is to go Ty Dillon or just stay in the 6K range. I don't think it's necessarily worth landing on Haley because you just land on him, you know? Like I like Castle. I would probably prefer to play Gillen over Haley. I'm very concerned about him being stuck in the 20s today. I think it's a very real possibility. So that's where I'm at there. Oh, I'm glad that I answered that because I was just talking there. Dude, I'm so tired of Jimmy Johnson, man. I'm so tired. And I don't hate like there's nothing me being like, oh, I hate Jimmy Johnson and stuff. But I'm just tired of this man, dude. Like, can please just stay away. What are you gonna do, Jimmy? You gonna show up for the 500, then self spin again? Like, it was very sad that Johnson struggled so much at IndyCar. And I'm not saying don't race, don't follow your dreams, but like this was like out of fucking left field. If you're Noah Gragson, what a year you've had. You were vilified by the entire NASCAR community and your owner for the stuff you did at, was it Coda? No, it wasn't Coda. It was it's not Coda. I know it's not Coda. It was Mid Ohio. Everybody's shitting on you for wrecking Sage Karam and stuff like that. People are like, are you even mature enough to go to Cup? And then basically nobody else wants you other than GMS. And then GMS gets their shit together and runs extremely well at intermediates, although Jones was running well all day. And now you have 2 of the 3 7-time champions as your team owner. Like, what a legendary year Gragson has had. I mean, he just backdoored into like these superstar names. Man, dude, it's hard watching Jimmy now. I feel bad, man. It's like watching Stewart all over again, man. I just and then Stewart, fuck, man, he's making it to the final runs in NHRA, and Jimmy's just constantly spinning out in IndyCar. It's been rough. It's been sad. So, I don't know, man. We'll see what Jimmy does. It's just gonna be like Petty at Atlanta all over again. Give me the fucking fire extinguisher. Like that's just how his career is gonna end, man. It's sad. Let's see. Yeah, I mean it's and that's dumb as fuck as it is. The fact that everybody rolls over and these guys just run 1, 2, 3, 4 all fucking day, it's so stupid. But I think realistically, like Bell has the worst car of the championship four. That's why I just can't get to him. Yeah, if I miss on Larson, I miss on Larson. I probably won't play Larson today. So if that happens, it happens. I love Logano. I really do. And I think Logano is not the most owned of the 4 drivers. Maybe. But I don't think Logano's ownership is going to be what it should be at. I really don't. I think Logano should push like 55% ownership today. And I think he'll probably push like 44, 45. I think Elliott will be under owned. I think Bell's going to be over owned. I really do. So that's kind of where I'm at there. Yeah, it was so close, man. A lot of our guys. ASC had a fantastic line. I think he tied. I mean, well, when you look at the lines, like you had the optimal, and then you had the people tied for like whatever it was, like 9th or whatever. I got tied for 94th, so that was the 4th highest scoring line. But they were all separated by. I mean, I knew it was going to be a close slate entering, but this is one of those where it was like the top 3. No, top like 5 lines were separated by like I think it was 5.25 points or something. It was so incredibly close. And that was it. That I mean, that's why I'm like, I can't even be mad, man. Ran one line. It was like 4 points. It was just, I mean, it's LeBay over Raja, and I have to stand by that. I don't like playing the ownership. I thought Raja would struggle, so that really sucks. But we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes today. Yeah, and I mean, I think it was the car too, but man, it's so hard. Like Kenseth is fine. Like you're not the god among men, but like David Pearson. Do you guys remember? I forgot. I think this was Michigan 94, 91. David Pearson hasn't raced in a while, and I forgot what the story was exactly. I think somebody needed a relief driver or something. I don't. Maybe they just want to do a one-off. I don't exactly remember what happened with Pearson, but it's at Michigan, and Pearson goes out there and he hasn't ran a car in a long time. And this is like, during the height of I know it was in the 90s. And he goes out there and he's like 24th best, or not 20. No, I think he's 21st. He was 24th or 21st out of like 50 something cars there. This is back when people qualify in. And you got to respect the Silver Fox for just understanding that he didn't want to run 20th. And I'm not saying like we can't have drivers out there who love to race, but it is sad. Like Petty hadn't been good for 15 years at the end, but he was around because everybody loved Richard Petty. Stewart, between his injuries and killing a man and stuff, his last couple of years were kind of broken up. I wish he would ran another 500, but we knew where he was at. But like Jimmy really did like luck into that 7th championship because of this playoff format, and it's really, really hard to watch him show up and the fucking guy just wrecks. Like I don't know why he went to IndyCar. I don't know why he did that. I really don't. And I don't know why he didn't just run the ovals. It was so incredibly stupid that he went over there and he's like, I'm not going to run ovals. I'm just going to run road courses where I'm like slow as molasses. And then, they keep him out to lead that fucking lap in the Indy 500 just to say he led a lap. And then he self-spins him. He drives on the grass and wrecks. Sure, he finishes top 5 at Texas. But like Johnson, run the ovals in IndyCar. Like just run the ovals. Like you'll actually compete. Like why are we running these road courses? Why are we wasting our time with that? So Jimmy coming back for the 500, you're just gonna wreck. There's no way you don't get involved in an accident. It's just rough, man. And what are you actually gonna get the 48 from Hendrick? Like, what are we doing? Like, I don't know, man. It's nuts. I would prefer like if Hendrick went back to running the 88 and give Johnson the 48 just to run dead last. Same thing with Joe Gibbs. Hey, talk to Rick Ware. I'm sure he'll give you the 54. Like put Gibbs in the 54, please. I'm gonna have no AJ today. I mean, Gibbs he's unbelievable. It's unbelievable how good Ty Gibbs is. And everybody was like, "Oh, we're so pissed he didn't get wrecked yesterday." you guys just like watching people get wrecked. Just say it. You guys like crashes and stuff. That's fine. But Ty Gibbs is so talented. It is insane. I love Ty Gibbs. He's awesome. Yeah, I don't know what Jimmy's doing, man. It's like he's going through a midlife crisis. I don't know. Or like if what I don't like is if I don't like it when guys retire and then they're like they come back. Like, well, then just don't say you're retiring, and just be like, what are we doing, Jimmy? I was at your last race, man. Like, what are we doing now? I can't say that anymore because you're gonna fucking have your last race some dumbass road course that nobody wants to go to. Like, I don't know, man. It's very, very rough. I mean, maybe, but why would people? Are people not watching IndyCar? Like, it's crazy. Like when I watch videos and stuff on IndyCar about like content creators in Europe, like Johnson's like the butt of the joke and stuff. It's so funny. Um, I can't believe Johnson. If that was anybody but Johnson in that IndyCar, he would have been fired. I can't believe it. Like just run the ovals. Why are we running these stupid road courses? And like, dude, that race is gonna be so stupid, man. I don't know. Anyway, let's get back to today's championship. Now that my stuff is ran, it's saying play Logano. Almirola Cindric is very even on the priority list. It's saying play Chastain over Elliott, but I will be playing both of them. So going back to my 5 lines, I'll probably have 4 lines with Ross today. It's saying Castle in the value range. So this is where this is telling me to go. It's saying Logano, Elliott, Almirola, Cindric, Keselowski, which is interesting. Chastain, Jones, Castle. That's the highest that this thing is telling me here. I like that. I like it. I can see. I think I do believe Haley's going to be. He might actually end up being chalkier because I got him projected to be pretty shitty, and this thing is wanting to put him in a lot because it's just needing somebody in the 6K range. So I think I would really try to avoid Haley here. Yeah, that's interesting. It's wanting to use so much Keselowski. What are these Keselowski lines looking like? These Keselowski lines aren't as bad as I thought. He's 7,000. So that's a direct pivot off of Jones and Eric. That might be a way to get different. Because I haven't mentioned Keselowski once. I have Keselowski projected for 31.7 points today. That's him with a 16th place finish. It's very funny that they're just throwing everything to the wall and cheating their ass off this whole year. 6th best last week at Martinsville. The Homestead is interesting. At least we're seeing speed. Richmond 2, 12th best car. New Hampshire 12th best car. Gateway 22nd. Martinsville won 18th. Richmond won 9. Maybe I am not focused. Because I haven't mentioned him once today. Okay. Because I'm gonna highlight Keselowski because I want to own some Keselowski today. That's why, and for those of you that don't run optimizers and stuff, and this is just an MME tool that we have, but I just run stuff and see if anything is popping up that I'm not seeing. So the Keselowski thing was interesting, and this is, it's not saying a lot, but it's so interesting that this is wanting to use Keselowski there, and the lines aren't bad at all. Like, they are not bad at all. So I'll probably so looking at my lines, I want to have Eric Almirola, and I thought he would be my pivot in the 7K range, but I'll probably have two to three lines with Almirola. I'll have one for sure with Keselowski. And just talking in terms of 5 lineups, I think those are where I want to try and get different at. Actually, if you're going that range, you can very easily now that's an interesting build. You can stay in the 7K range today. You can like Jones as a 6'8", basically 7. Eric Almirola, Keselowski, Cindric, and Jones. If you are not playing 3 of the championship 4 drivers, fuck playing Hamlin and Kyle and those goobers. I think you build in the 7K range. I think you play Jones and Keselowski in that. I don't think the pivot or the play is you play like Chastain, Logano, and then you play like Hamlin or something like that. I think it's like you do Chastain, Logano, then like Jones and Keselowski or something like that. So that's interesting to see. I don't know how owned Keselowski is going to be. Very interesting. Interesting there. All right, let's see what else you guys are talking about. Clutch, thank you very much for being here and watching this whole year. You have a fantastic day. Hope you do some rants. I will. Don't worry. DFS stuff. As soon as this race is over, I will not touch NASCAR DFS until January 1st. But I will certainly be putting videos out there just for my usual nonsense and things like that. I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go. Give you guys time to enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Enjoy the rest of your NFL time or whatever. And thank you guys so much for being here, supporting me, supporting Pearce this whole entire year. And thank you for helping me pay my bills and stuff this whole year. I really do appreciate it, guys. So any last minute thanks or anything, any New Year's love that you want to send out, you can send it my way. I have my PayPal in the description here and on my Twitter. And thank you guys very much. And I will see you guys next year. So best of luck today. Hopefully Logano doesn't blow a tire or something. That'll be disappointing. That would be very sad. So we'll see you guys later. Thank you very much for being here and just watching all my stuff this whole year. Thank you very much.